We all use spray paint, so in this video I'm going to be covering some techniques and tips to hopefully make it go a little bit smoother. First tip that's easy to get better results is to shake the can well before using. It really does matter. The marbles should be heard rolling around the bottom. Now, if the can is cold, I often warm up the can by setting it outside in the direct sunlight. With the can being warm, the paint will atomize better, giving you better results. When spray painting, it's very easy to lay stuff on a flat surface, but often the item gets glued down by the spray paint. Instead, create some sort of standoff. You can grab a scrap of wood and run a screw in it so that you can thread the item on. If it's on the underside, then nobody will ever see it. There we go. You can again grab scraps, then use a brad nailer to throw a few protruding nails in them. Do this by using an item to compress the head of the nailer in the air instead of the scrap itself. A few of these place correctly and an item is quickly held up. Hanging is always a great option for covering all sides at once. I typically clamp a board to my mobile workbench to give me a suspension point. Then I thread in a hook on the end and use baling wire to create a loop. Now, it's very tempting to spray paint things as a whole, but you get a much better result if you take the time to disassemble it first. Use a solvent to remove any oils that will interfere with adhesion, typically left by stickers. Once the parts are on a standoff, you can get 100% coverage on all sides. For screws, you don't want to get paint on the threads. Use some cardboard to poke a hole to punch the screw head threads in, so only the head is exposed to be painted. If you have deep chips or scratches in old finish, you can sometimes sand them out, then use multiple light coats to fill them back in. I recommend a fillable primer for this. This won't work on everything, but it is worth a try before having to sand back the entire piece to repaint. When painting wood or MDF, I recommend first laying down a sandable primer. This will seal the wood and prevent absorption, which will drastically save on the number of coats you'll have to apply on the painting stage. Always test the sprayer first on a piece of cardboard to avoid sputter or splatter on your workpiece. If a nozzle is sputtering or plugged and won't clear, just swap it for one that isn't. They are interchangeable. Now, to prevent a nozzle from getting clogged in the first place, remember to always clean it out before putting a can away. Do this by spraying it upside down. Again, I use a scrap of cardboard here. Then use a rag to wipe off the tip. When it comes to spraying techniques, always start and stop the spraying when you're to the side of the workpiece instead of on it. Each pass should overlap your previous pass by about half. It is easy to rush, but try and control your speed so that it's nice and even. It's also easy to swing in an arc, but imagine a straight line as you're moving. Instead of stretching over a workpiece, rotate it if you can, and keep spraying at a comfortable range. After getting complete coverage on the first pass, rotate the piece 90 degrees if possible for the second. This will give you a more solid appearance in lesser coats. If you're covering a large area, something I do that might look silly, but certainly works, is holding a can of paint in both hands. I push my hands together to get them not only in line, but also moving evenly with each other. Get double the coverage for the amount of effort. And of course, it never fails that something gets into a fresh coat of paint. I keep tweezers on hand for this. It is best to spray multiple light coats to avoid runs, but even I struggle with the patience this requires. If you get a run, I find it best to dab at it instead of wiping it. It isn't as perfect as several light coats without runs, but if the piece isn't prominent, then this will do in a pinch. Now, some of these might be obvious, but hopefully you still learned a thing or two, or it was just served as a good reminder whenever you are actually spray painting. Leave me a comment down below if I missed your favorite spray painting tip, and I'll see you on my next video. Real quick, I want to thank this video sponsor, which is FlexiMount. If you're looking for a really good shop or garage storage system, then one awesome solution is FlexiMount garage racks. I have a lot of items in my shop that I don't need access to super often, so storing them above with FlexiMount's 4x8 overhead garage storage racks is a great solution. By utilizing unused overhead space, you can get your items off the floor and out of the way. These overhead racks are strong and secure and really have unmatched strength compared to competing products. The heavy-duty construction provides the ability to safely load them up to 600 pounds, and they're easy to DIY your own installation. If you want to further utilize unused space in a garage, you should also look into the garage wall shelving units with hooks. These shelves are sturdy and stable, and their buckle design prevents the shelves from falling or bending. If you want to check out these FlexiMount products, then be sure to check for links down in the description below. If you have been wanting to make a rocking chair, then I have templates for this design right here. Or if you go to my website, I have templates for tons of other projects as well.